Live in the end. Ask with confidence, believe it's yours. Written and published by Sonic Tome. There are moments in life when the world seems to pause, and in that stillness, you feel a stir deep within, a quiet, yet undeniable urge to create something more, to step into a version of yourself that you've only dreamed of. It's not a loud, sudden call, but a whisper, a quiet certainty that you are meant for more than what you see in front of you. This is the moment where everything shifts. But what happens next? How do you begin to shape that dream into reality? How do you move from the realm of possibility to the world of tangible results? The answer is simpler than you might think. It lies in a process that most people overlook. Not the frantic hustle of doing more or achieving more, but the quiet and deliberate work of aligning your thoughts, your actions, and your beliefs with the life you desire. This process doesn't require you to see everything clearly. In fact, the less you rely on what you can see, the more room you create for what you are meant to create. The magic happens when you stop waiting for external circumstances to shift, when you stop looking for proof that what you desire is even possible, and instead begin to trust the unseen process that is already at work. It begins with a simple, powerful act. The ability to believe in the possibility of your own transformation. You don't need all the answers. You just need to trust that you are on the right path, even when it seems like nothing is happening. This is not about ignoring reality or pretending things are better than they are. It's about becoming deeply aware of the power you hold within. It's about realizing that the world outside you is simply a reflection of the world inside you, and that by shifting your inner reality, you begin to shift the outer world as well. What if you could wake up tomorrow knowing with absolute certainty that the life you envision is already on its way? What if the key to unlocking your greatest potential lies not in striving harder, but in trusting more? What if the path to everything you've ever wanted is already unfolding before you, waiting for you to take the first step? This is the journey that begins the moment you decide to trust, not in what you can see, but in what you believe. The life you desire is already within reach, and it all begins with the quiet power of your own belief, your own vision, and your willingness to follow a path that goes beyond what you can see with your eyes. The unseen forces of the universe are always aligning with your energy. Your belief is the signal that activates them, bringing your future into alignment with who you are becoming. What happens when you trust without needing proof? When you surrender to a future that you cannot yet see? That is where everything begins to change. Chapter 1. The Whisper of Desire. When you stop and listen closely, you'll notice it. A soft murmur in the depths of your being, a quiet yearning that may have been overshadowed by the demands of everyday life. This is the whisper of your desires. It's not the loud, distracting noise that often surrounds us. It's the subtle, gentle pull of something deeper, more authentic and more meaningful. The first step toward transforming your life is tuning into this inner voice and understanding what it truly wants. The whisper of desire is not the same as a fleeting wish or a passing craving. It's not simply the desire for comfort or material possessions, although those may be part of the bigger picture. The whisper of desire is something more profound. It is the expression of who you are at your core, what you were meant to experience, and what you are capable of achieving when you align with your true purpose. In the hustle of daily routines, this whisper is often drowned out by the constant chatter of responsibilities, societal expectations, and external pressures. But if you pause for a moment, let go of distractions, and simply listen, you'll hear it. It's the quiet call to become more, to step into a higher version of yourself and live a life that reflects your true potential. This voice often appears as an inkling, a subtle sense of knowing that something is missing, or that there's more to life than what you're currently experiencing. It may be a longing to express yourself creatively, to impact others in a meaningful way, or to experience freedom in a new form. These desires are not random. They are part of the intricate design of who you are and the life you are meant to lead. The challenge, however, is that this whisper is not always clear. nor does it often fit neatly into the frameworks we've been taught to follow. Unlike the overt demands of the world, which shout for attention, desires tend to be softer and less demanding. They require patience and reflection. To truly hear them, you must be willing to create space in your life, space for introspection, silence, and deep thought. In our noisy world, this is no small feat, but it's the only way to uncover what is truly calling to you. The whisper may start as a vague feeling of discontent, or perhaps a sense that you are not fully aligned with your path. You might feel restless, or as though you are simply going through the motions without any true sense of fulfillment. This is often where the journey begins, when you feel that subtle urge to break free from what is comfortable and seek something more. The first step in understanding this voice is to acknowledge that it exists and that it's significant. Your desires are not trivial or unimportant. They are part of your unique blueprint and the key to unlocking the life you're meant to live. It's easy to dismiss desires, especially if they don't fit the typical narrative of success or societal approval. But this inner voice doesn't care about societal norms. It's connected to something much deeper, the very essence of who you are. Listening to the whisper of desire requires a shift in perspective. It involves moving away from the constant need for validation from the outside world and tuning into your inner compass. It requires courage to explore what you truly want without fear of judgment, failure, or criticism. The world will often tell you what is possible or desirable, but your heart knows the truth of what you need. The more you listen, the clearer the voice becomes. You may have spent years ignoring or suppressing this inner voice, convinced that what you want isn't possible or that it doesn't fit the conventional path. But when you finally make the decision to listen, you will be surprised by how clear the path becomes. The voice is not loud, but it is consistent. Over time, as you begin to recognize it, the connection grows stronger and the call becomes impossible to ignore. At first, the whispers may be small, a fleeting thought about pursuing a new career, moving to a new place, or starting a new creative project. But these desires, no matter how seemingly insignificant, hold the power to guide you toward your true purpose. Each whisper is like a breadcrumb leading you down the path toward your most authentic self. They are gentle nudges, but they are potent, and they carry the energy to propel you forward if you allow them to. One of the most common obstacles people face when hearing this whisper is self-doubt. The moment you begin to entertain the idea that there is something more for you, the mind often floods with reasons why it won't work. You may doubt your abilities, your worthiness, or your capacity to create the life you truly desire. The fear of the unknown can be paralyzing, and it may tempt you to ignore the whisper and return to what feels familiar. But in ignoring the call, you are choosing to remain in a state of stagnation. The whisper is there for a reason. It is calling you to step out of your comfort zone and into something greater. The fears and doubts that arise are simply part of the process. They are not signs that you should ignore your desires. Rather, they are the signals that growth is on the horizon. Every step you take toward your desires requires moving through the discomfort of the unknown. But it is in this space that transformation occurs. When you embrace the whisper of desire, you are not only listening to your heart, but you are also opening the door to infinite possibilities. These desires are not confined by logic or reason. They are expansive and full of potential. The more you listen, the more you realize that you are capable of far more than you ever imagined. Your desires are a reflection of your potential, waiting to be realized. To begin recognizing and understanding the whispers of your desires, start by slowing down. Carve out time in your day to sit in stillness, to breathe deeply, and to reflect. This is not about forcing answers, but rather about allowing yourself to be present with whatever arises. Let your thoughts flow freely, without judgment or expectation. Pay attention to the subtle feelings and thoughts that emerge. Sometimes the whispers come in the form of a feeling, a gut instinct, or an image that lingers in your mind. Trust these moments, for they are your soul speaking to you. As you become more attuned to this inner voice, you'll begin to see how your desires align with the direction you want to take in life. You may notice that your passions, skills, and interests start to align in unexpected ways. The more you listen, the more you begin to understand the language of your desires, and the clearer the path to fulfilling them becomes. Embracing the whisper of desire also requires a willingness to be vulnerable. It's easy to dismiss desires as unrealistic or impractical, especially if they fall outside the bounds of conventional thinking. But in order to create a life that is truly your own, you must be willing to step into vulnerability. You must trust that your desires are not only valid, but that they hold the key to your fulfillment and purpose. Listening to the whisper of desire is not a passive process. It is an active choice. It requires you to be present with yourself, to trust in your inner guidance, and to take inspired action toward the things that truly matter to you. Every decision you make from this place of inner knowing brings you closer to the life you were meant to live. And while the path may not always be linear, and the road may sometimes feel uncertain, the more you listen to the whisper, the more you will realize that it is not leading you astray. In the end, the whisper of desire is a gift, a reminder of who you are and the life you were meant to create. By learning to listen and honor this quiet call, you begin the journey toward a life of greater fulfillment, authenticity, and purpose. The whisper is not a fleeting thought. It is the heartbeat of your soul calling you to live in alignment with your truest self. Chapter 2. The Canvas of Imagination. Imagine for a moment that your mind is like a blank canvas, waiting to be painted. You hold the brush, and every thought, every image you create adds a stroke to the picture of your life. What you choose to envision on this canvas shapes not only your future, but the reality you experience each day. The power of imagination is not merely a tool for daydreaming. It is the blueprint for your existence, the foundation upon which everything you desire can be built. We often think of imagination as something reserved for children or for the realm of fiction. But in truth, imagination is a deeply practical, profoundly powerful skill that can transform our lives in the most extraordinary ways. It is the gateway to possibility, the first spark of creation. What you imagine today is the seed for what you can experience tomorrow, and the beauty of it is that your imagination has no limits. You are the creator of your own universe, and within the realm of imagination, anything is possible. To begin painting the life you desire, it's important to first recognize the immense power that lies in your ability to vividly picture the future you want. It's not just about wishing for things to happen, but about actively constructing a mental image of your goals. These images act as magnets, drawing your circumstances, your actions, and even the right opportunities toward you. What you imagine with clarity and intensity begins to take shape in the physical world. The thoughts you entertain and the images you dwell on are the seeds that eventually grow into reality. The key is to be deliberate with your imagination. Too often, we allow our minds to wander aimlessly, filled with thoughts of fear, worry, or what we don't want. But imagination is most powerful when you channel it toward what you do want. When you focus your mind on a vivid, clear vision of your ideal life, you send a signal to the universe that this is the direction you want to move in. Your thoughts become your compass, guiding you along the path toward that vision. But imagining the future isn't about simply seeing it once and moving on. The most powerful imaginations are those that are nurtured, constantly refined, and lived in on a daily basis. To truly manifest your desires, you need to make the act of visualizing a regular practice. Just as an artist spends time refining each stroke on their canvas, you must devote time to refining the picture of your future. The more you do this, the more real it becomes in your mind, and the more real it becomes in your life. Visualization isn't just a mental exercise. It engages your entire being. It's about feeling the emotions tied to your imagined experiences, hearing the sounds, even sensing the textures and smells of the life you are painting. The more senses you engage, the more vivid the picture becomes. If you want to experience success, imagine it with the same intensity you would experience if it were happening right now. Feel the pride of accomplishment, the excitement, the satisfaction. Let those emotions fill you up. Let them become a part of you. As you immerse yourself in these feelings, you align your energy with the very outcomes you desire. This emotional connection is essential because it bridges the gap between thought and reality, translating your inner visions into physical manifestations. When you engage your senses and emotions in this way, something incredible happens. Your brain cannot distinguish between what is real and what is vividly imagined. Neuroscientists have shown that when you imagine an experience in detail, your brain activates the same neural pathways as it would if you were actually going through that experience. This means that every time you imagine success, wealth, love, or happiness, your brain is preparing you for those things to become real. You're not just dreaming about the future, you're training your mind and body to expect it. Imagination also has the power to reshape your identity. The more clearly you see yourself achieving your desires, the more you begin to embody the person who is capable of achieving them. You start to think differently, act differently, and make choices that align with your vision. Your mental picture of success becomes the mirror you hold up to your life, and over time it becomes your reality. The person who once dreamed of success is now living in it. This shift isn't just about wishing for something better. It's about believing, down to your core, that your desired reality is not only possible but inevitable. When you consistently imagine a life of abundance, success, and fulfillment, you begin to feel it within you. This feeling is what makes your vision a magnetic force that draws the right circumstances and people into your life. Your confidence in your imagined reality becomes contagious, and those around you begin to align with your vision, often in ways you couldn't have predicted. Opportunities begin to materialize in unexpected places because you are actively shaping your environment through your imagination. But imagining the future also involves a deep level of trust. It's not about controlling every detail or trying to figure out the how of your desires. In fact, the more you try to force the how, the more you limit your potential. The key is to let go of the need to control the path and instead trust that the universe will bring you what you need at the perfect time. The how will reveal itself along the way, often in ways that surprise and delight you. When you imagine your future, you are planting seeds for the journey ahead. But like any seed, it takes time to grow. There will be moments of doubt, obstacles, and setbacks, but this is simply part of the process. Just as an artist faces challenges when bringing their vision to life on canvas, you will face challenges as you work toward manifesting your dreams. However, if you continue to refine your mental picture and stay connected to the emotional truth of your vision, you will overcome those challenges and reach your destination. The beauty of imagination is that it is always available to you. In the hustle and bustle of daily life, it can be easy to forget that you have the power to shape your reality at any moment. But in moments of stillness, you can return to your canvas and continue painting the life you desire. When you feel lost or uncertain, you can always come back to your imagination to reconnect with your vision and recalibrate your path. It's a tool that is limitless and ever-present, available to you at any time. To truly harness the power of imagination, it's essential to break free from the limiting beliefs that may have held you back. We often limit ourselves based on past experiences or societal expectations, but imagination doesn't know these limits. It knows only possibility. It's your mind's ability to break free from the confines of what has been and reach into what could be. When you allow yourself to imagine beyond the current circumstances, you create room for new opportunities to enter your life. The more expansive your imagination, the more expansive your reality becomes. As you continue to use your imagination to visualize the life you want, you'll find that it becomes easier and easier to see your dreams come to life. The more vivid your images, the more they align with your actions. You start taking steps toward your goals, and those steps are guided by the vision you've created in your mind. Your imagination has not only helped you see the life you want, but it has also shown you the path to achieving it. It's easy to forget how powerful your mind is when you get caught up in the day-to-day challenges of life. But imagination is not just a fleeting thought. It is the most powerful tool you have for creating the reality you desire. By painting your life on the canvas of your mind, you lay the foundation for everything that is to come. Your thoughts, images, and feelings all work together to create the world around you. So, begin with your vision, trust in your ability to create it, and take action toward bringing it into being. The canvas of your mind is waiting for you to fill it with your masterpiece. Chapter 3. The Unshakable Core. The foundation of a fulfilled and purposeful life is built on belief. Belief in yourself, your abilities, and your potential. But not just any belief will do. It's the kind of belief that stands firm in the face of adversity, the belief that doesn't bend under pressure, the belief that remains unshaken even when the world around you seems to crumble. This is the unshakable core, the resilient belief system that transforms challenges into opportunities and doubts into stepping stones. To truly live with confidence, you must cultivate a belief that is unbreakable, a belief that is rooted deeply within you. Belief is not something you can simply acquire from external sources. It is something that must be nurtured from within. It's the quiet but unwavering voice inside you that tells you, you are enough, you are capable, you have everything you need to succeed. But often, this inner voice is drowned out by the noise of self-doubt, fear, and the opinions of others. To develop an unshakable core, you must learn to quiet the doubts and strengthen the voice of belief. The first step in building this resilient belief system is to recognize that belief is not a static trait. It's dynamic, evolving, and requires ongoing effort. Just as a muscle grows stronger with exercise, so too does belief grow stronger with consistent practice. When you practice belief in yourself, it becomes ingrained in your psyche. It becomes a natural part of who you are, like second nature. This practice begins with small, everyday affirmations and actions that reinforce the idea that you are capable of overcoming obstacles, achieving your goals, and creating the life you want. Resilience in belief comes from the understanding that setbacks are not failures. They are simply lessons along the way. When you encounter obstacles or face challenges, the strength of your belief is tested. It is easy to lose confidence in yourself when things don't go as planned, or when you face resistance. But the unshakable core understands that challenges are part of the process, not a reflection of your worth. Every setback is an opportunity to reaffirm your belief and to deepen your trust in your ability to overcome. It is not the obstacle itself that defines you, but your response to it. Building an unshakable belief system means refusing to let self-doubt dictate your actions. Self-doubt is a thief of potential. It whispers lies that undermine your confidence and keep you stuck in fear. To build resilience, you must confront these doubts head-on and replace them with empowering thoughts. It's not about pretending that doubt doesn't exist, but about choosing to focus on the truths that support your growth. Instead of asking, "What if I fail?" ask yourself, "What if I succeed beyond my wildest dreams?" Shift your focus from the negative possibilities to the positive ones, and you'll begin to see the world in a different light, one that supports your success. Another powerful way to nurture your unshakable core is through the power of self-talk. The language you use when speaking to yourself shapes your beliefs. If you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you'll never make it, or that success is for others but not for you, your mind will internalize those messages. But if you speak words of encouragement, strength, and possibility to yourself, your belief will grow stronger. The way you speak to yourself determines how you feel about yourself, and how you feel about yourself influences your actions. Choose to speak to yourself as you would speak to someone you love deeply, with kindness, patience, and unwavering belief in their potential. In addition to self-talk, it's important to surround yourself with people who believe in you. The people you spend time with play a significant role in shaping your belief system. If you are constantly surrounded by negativity, doubt, and criticism, it becomes harder to maintain a resilient belief in yourself. But when you align yourself with people who uplift you, encourage you, and see your potential, your belief in yourself grows exponentially. These people become mirrors, reflecting back to you the strength, talent, and resilience that you may not always see in yourself. The process of building an unshakable core also involves letting go of limiting beliefs, those unconscious ideas that hold you back. Limiting beliefs are the stories you tell yourself about what is possible and what isn't. These beliefs are often formed early in life based on experiences, conditioning, and the influence of others. Over time, these beliefs become so ingrained that they seem like facts, but the truth is they are just stories, and stories can be rewritten. To build a belief system that is unshakable, you must first identify these limiting beliefs and challenge them. Ask yourself, is this belief really true? Is there evidence to support it, or is it just something I've been told or assumed? Once you begin to question these beliefs, you open the door to new possibilities. It's also essential to acknowledge and embrace your worth. Too often, we look outside ourselves for validation, waiting for others to tell us that we are deserving of success, love, and abundance. But true resilience comes from within. When you know your worth, when you recognize that you are deserving of everything good that life has to offer, your belief in yourself becomes rock solid. Your worth is not determined by others' opinions or by past mistakes. It is inherent in who you are. Embrace your worth and you will find that your belief in yourself becomes unshakable. Your belief system is also closely tied to your sense of purpose. When you have a clear sense of why you do what you do, your belief in yourself strengthens. Purpose gives you the drive and motivation to keep going, even when things get tough. It acts as a compass, guiding you through life's challenges and helping you stay on course when faced with uncertainty. When your actions are aligned with a deep sense of purpose, you will find that your belief in your ability to achieve your goals remains unwavering. Building an unshakable core requires patience and persistence. It's not something that happens overnight, but a lifelong journey of self-discovery and growth. There will be times when you feel uncertain or when doubt creeps in. But during these times, it's important to return to your core beliefs and remind yourself of the strength that lies within you. Trust that your belief will continue to grow, that your resilience will deepen, and that, no matter what challenges arise, you will rise above them. The unshakable core is not a state of perfection. It's a commitment to continually strengthen your belief, to stand tall in the face of adversity, and to trust in your ability to navigate the ups and downs of life. It's about becoming so rooted in your own worth and potential that no external circumstance, no challenge, no person can shake your confidence. When you develop this unshakable belief, you unlock the power to create the life you desire. Nothing can stand in your way because you know, without a doubt, that you are capable of achieving greatness. Chapter 4. The Silent Shift. The process of transformation doesn't always have to be loud or dramatic. In fact, some of the most profound changes occur in the quiet moments, when you aren't even aware of the shift happening. The silent shift is not an event. It's a process, a gradual and subtle unfolding of who you are becoming. It's about aligning your thoughts, emotions, and actions with the version of yourself you want to be, not through force or struggle, but by gently guiding yourself in the direction of your desired outcome. The beauty of the silent shift lies in its simplicity. It's the quiet moments when you decide to think differently about yourself or your circumstances, when you choose to act in a way that reflects the person you are becoming, and when you begin to embody the future version of yourself, not by waiting for it to happen, but by making it real in the present moment. It is in these small, often unnoticed changes that the most powerful transformations occur. One of the most powerful ways to begin the silent shift is by shifting your internal narrative. Every day you engage in a constant conversation with yourself, whether you realize it or not. These thoughts shape your perception of reality and your place within it. If you want to change the trajectory of your life, you must start by changing the way you speak to yourself. Instead of thinking, "I can't do this," you can shift to, "I am capable of overcoming any challenge that comes my way." Instead of focusing on what you don't have, You begin to acknowledge the abundance already present in your life. This shift in perspective may seem subtle, but it has an enormous impact. The more you reinforce positive thoughts, the more they become ingrained in your mindset. Over time, your inner dialogue becomes a reflection of the person you are choosing to become, rather than the person you once were. This is the silent shift in action, transforming the mental chatter that no one else can hear, but which profoundly influences your life. Another key element of this shift involves adopting the energy of your future self. Often, we make the mistake of believing that we must wait until we reach our desired outcome to feel the way we want to feel. We may say to ourselves, "Once I have the job, the relationship, the success, then I will feel worthy, confident, and at peace." But this approach is backward. In order to bring that future self into your present reality, you must begin to embody the feelings, attitudes, and behaviors of that person now. Imagine for a moment the person you want to become, the one who lives with abundance, purpose, and confidence. How does that person think? What does that person believe about themselves? How do they carry themselves? Do they speak with authority? Do they make decisions with clarity and conviction? These aren't qualities you must wait to develop. They are already within you. And the more you allow yourself to experience these feelings, the more they will become a natural part of your existence. Start to imagine how your future self would walk into a room, how they would handle challenges, how they would respond to setbacks. As you align your actions with that vision, you begin to subtly shift into that version of yourself. It's not an instant transformation, but a gradual process of embodying the mindset and behaviors that align with your goals. This is the silent shift, a quiet transformation that happens from the inside out. The next step in this process is learning how to be comfortable with the discomfort of change. When you begin to change, there is a natural resistance that arises. The mind prefers familiarity, even if that familiarity no longer serves your highest good. When you step into a new way of thinking or behaving, the mind will try to pull you back into old patterns. This is where the silent shift becomes a practice of persistence. Instead of fighting against the discomfort, you learn to embrace it as a necessary part of growth. It's essential to recognize that discomfort is not a sign that you're on the wrong path. In fact, discomfort is often a sign that you are stretching beyond your current limitations, and that's exactly where growth happens. The more you allow yourself to sit in that discomfort, the more natural it becomes to make the changes that are required. Over time, the discomfort fades, replaced by a sense of confidence and ease as your new way of being becomes second nature. At the core of the silent shift is the practice of patience. It's easy to want immediate results, to expect that the moment you change your thoughts, everything in your life will automatically align. But true transformation takes time. The subtle shifts you make today may not show up as visible changes right away, but that doesn't mean they're not working. Every small step, every thought you shift, every new action you take is like a seed being planted in fertile soil. And while you may not see the growth above the surface immediately, rest assured, beneath the surface, things are taking root. This process of patience is crucial because it allows you to trust the journey. You don't need to see the entire path laid out in front of you. You just need to trust that with each step you take, you're getting closer to your desired outcome. It's the belief that as you keep moving in the direction of your future self, the pieces will begin to fall into place. The silent shift requires you to trust the process and remain consistent, even when results are not immediately apparent. Another integral aspect of the silent shift is the power of daily habits. It's easy to think that transformation requires grand gestures or huge changes in your life. But the reality is that small, consistent actions are what lead to lasting change. The person you want to become is already within you, and it's in the small, everyday actions that you bring that person to life. Each morning, when you set an intention for the day, you're taking a small step toward the future you desire. Every time you act with confidence, even if it's just in a small interaction, you're embodying your future self. It's in the mundane moments of life, the ones that seem insignificant, that the silent shift takes place. These moments add up to create a ripple effect that transforms your entire life. Whether it's showing up for yourself, doing something that stretches you, or practicing gratitude in the face of challenges, these small actions are building the foundation for the life you're creating. The silent shift is also about trust, trusting that the actions you're taking are aligning you with your desired outcome, even if the results aren't immediately visible. When you trust yourself, your decisions, and your ability to create change, the world begins to respond in kind. Trusting the process doesn't mean sitting back and waiting for things to happen. It means continuing to take action, even when you don't see the immediate payoff. It means staying grounded in your vision and knowing that your efforts will eventually bear fruit. The beauty of the silent shift is that it doesn't require a dramatic change in your circumstances. Instead, it's about changing the way you approach the world, the way you respond to challenges, and the way you show up for yourself. As you embody the person you want to become in every moment, you start to see the world differently. The opportunities you once overlooked appear before you. The people who will help you on your journey start to show up. And, most importantly, you begin to feel more aligned with your true self. The silent shift is a gentle process, but it is also powerful. It's the quiet yet profound transformation that happens when you begin to embody the life you want, not through force or struggle, but through the simple act of living in alignment with your true desires. When you make subtle changes in your thoughts and actions, when you align yourself with your future self, the transformation is inevitable. You are not waiting for something to change in your life. You are the change, and with every quiet shift, you step closer to the person you are meant to be. Chapter 5. The Stillness of Knowing. In a world where noise is constant, where distractions are abundant, and where external pressures often pull us in different directions, there is a rare and powerful state of being that can transform everything: stillness. It is the quiet space within, a profound sense of calm where everything aligns, and you feel a deep knowing that what you desire is already on its way. This state of knowing is not based on external validation or proof. It is rooted in an unwavering belief that the future you seek is already unfolding, even when the world around you may not reflect it. This is the stillness of knowing. To experience this stillness, you must first learn to quiet the noise. Our lives are often filled with the constant hum of thoughts, worries, and doubts. The mind races from one thought to the next, rarely pausing to recognize the present moment. In the midst of this mental chaos, it's easy to forget that all answers lie within. The mind, in its overactivity, distracts us from the truth that what we seek is already within our reach. In order to embrace the stillness of knowing, we must first learn to quiet the mind, to create space for peace, clarity, and insight. This stillness is not about retreating from the world or ignoring challenges. Instead, it's about finding a place of inner peace that is unaffected by the ups and downs of external circumstances. When you experience the stillness of knowing, you begin to recognize that you are not controlled by external forces. Your power comes from within. It's a deep, rooted awareness that you are the creator of your own reality, and everything you desire is already aligning itself to meet you. The practice of stillness begins with mindfulness. Mindfulness is the art of being fully present in the moment, of observing without judgment, and of allowing your thoughts to flow without attachment. In stillness, you learn to let go of the need to control every outcome, to anticipate every possibility, and to seek constant reassurance. Instead, you cultivate an awareness that the path you are walking is already leading you to your desires. You trust that everything is unfolding in its own perfect time. To cultivate this state of knowing, you must also begin to embrace a sense of surrender. Surrender is not about giving up, but rather about releasing the need to control every aspect of your life. It is about trusting that there is a greater intelligence at work, one that is guiding you toward your highest good. When you surrender, you release the grip of doubt and fear that keeps you from truly experiencing peace. You stop questioning whether your desires are possible, or if you are worthy of them. Instead, you open yourself up to the possibility that everything you need is already on its way. Surrender is not about passive waiting. It is an active practice of letting go of resistance. It means choosing to believe that your desires are already a part of your reality, even if you don't see the full manifestation yet. It's about choosing to live with the knowing that the seeds you have planted are growing beneath the surface, even when you can't yet see them. When you trust in the process, you are able to remain grounded in stillness, knowing that all is well, and your future self is on its way to you. The stillness of knowing also requires a deep connection to your intuition. Intuition is that quiet inner voice that speaks directly to your heart. It is not loud or forceful, but subtle and gentle, guiding you in the direction of your desires. It is the whisper that tells you where to go next, what decision to make, and when to trust. Intuition is always available to you, but it can only be heard in the stillness. When your mind is quiet and your heart is open, intuition becomes the guiding force that leads you with certainty and confidence. To connect with your intuition, you must learn to trust yourself. Trust is the foundation of the stillness of knowing. Trust that you are being guided, that the universe is conspiring in your favor, and that you have all the wisdom within you to navigate life's challenges. Trust in your ability to make decisions from a place of clarity and peace, rather than from fear or desperation. The more you trust yourself, the more the stillness of knowing becomes a natural state of being. There is also a powerful sense of self-worth that comes with the stillness of knowing. When you are in this state, you recognize that you are worthy of all the good things you desire. Your worth is not tied to external accomplishments or validation. It comes from within, from the inherent understanding that you are enough as you are. This self-assurance allows you to relax into the present moment, knowing that you are worthy of everything you want, and that your desires are a natural extension of who you already are. Living in this state of stillness requires an unwavering commitment to your vision. It is easy to get distracted by the noise of the world, by opinions, judgments, and external circumstances. But when you embrace the stillness of knowing, you become impervious to these distractions. You know that your desires are already within reach, and no amount of outside noise can shake your confidence. You stand firm in your belief that what you desire is not only possible, but it is already on its way to you. This commitment to your vision also involves letting go of the need for immediate results. In our world of instant gratification, it's easy to want things to happen quickly. But when you embrace the stillness of knowing, you understand that time is not a barrier to your success. Time is simply a reflection of your belief in your desires. The more you trust that what you want is already yours, the more quickly it will manifest. But you must release the need to rush, to force, or to demand. Instead, you live in the peaceful certainty that everything is unfolding as it should. In the stillness of knowing, you become the observer of your life. You witness your thoughts, emotions, and actions without judgment. You no longer react to life's challenges with frustration or fear. Instead, you observe with curiosity and understanding, knowing that each experience is part of the greater plan. This perspective allows you to navigate life with grace and ease, even when faced with obstacles. You understand that the path to your desires may not always be straight, but it is always leading you in the right direction. There is a deep sense of freedom in the stillness of knowing. Freedom comes when you stop chasing after external validation and instead align with your inner truth. You stop seeking approval, recognition, or reassurance from others because you are grounded in the knowledge that you are enough. Your desires are already on their way to you, and you are already worthy of them. This inner freedom allows you to live with peace, confidence, and joy, regardless of what is happening around you. When you embody the stillness of knowing, you no longer chase after life. You allow life to come to you. Your desires are no longer distant dreams or far-off hopes. They are already becoming reality, quietly unfolding in perfect harmony with the universe. And as you embrace this knowing, you step into a state of deep peace where everything feels right, and you feel confident that the best is yet to come. Chapter 6. The Ripple Effect. There is a quiet yet powerful law at work in the world, one that operates without fail. It is the law of attraction, not as some mystical force, but as a simple truth. What happens inside you is mirrored by what happens around you. This law is not just about dreams and wishes coming true. It is about something much more profound, the natural progression of events that align with your internal world. This alignment starts as a small shift, often imperceptible, and gradually builds into something far more significant. It's like a stone dropped in a pond. At first there's a small splash, but before long, ripples extend outward, touching every corner of the water. So it is with your life. The changes you make inside yourself, your beliefs, your thoughts, your emotions, radiate outward, creating a cascade of transformations in your reality. This ripple effect is a process of deep and inevitable change. The world around you is not a static environment, but one that is constantly responding to the energy you put forth. In this context, your inner work, your efforts to align your mind, body, and spirit with your highest desires, does not only impact you personally, it changes the way the universe responds to you. This is not about manifesting a single event or getting quick results. It's about creating a harmony between your inner world and outer circumstances, a connection so deep that everything you experience begins to reflect the truth of who you are. It starts with the most subtle changes. When you shift internally, you may not immediately see dramatic changes in your external world. The adjustments you make within yourself, the release of doubt, the strengthening of belief, the dedication to self-love, are often small, incremental movements. But don't be deceived by their size. Just as a seed planted in the soil takes time to sprout, so do these inner shifts take time to reveal their effects. And yet, they are inevitable. Each shift, no matter how small, sends out a vibration into the world. This vibration eventually attracts circumstances, opportunities, and people that reflect your inner state. Over time, the ripples become waves, and your reality begins to reflect the changes you've made on the inside. This process is not always immediate. You may not see the fruits of your efforts overnight. In fact, the more deeply you align with your inner truth, the more patience you must cultivate. When you plant a seed, you don't constantly dig it up to check if it's growing. You trust the process. You trust that the soil will do its work, and in time, the seed will sprout. Similarly, when you commit to changing your internal world, shifting your mindset, letting go of limiting beliefs, practicing self-compassion, you trust that these changes will eventually manifest. The more you align yourself with your desires, the more natural the process becomes. The ripples will reach further than you can immediately perceive. It's important to understand that the ripple effect isn't just about positive events happening to you. It's about the way you relate to life itself. The world around you starts to reflect your inner state not by offering rewards or punishments, but by becoming a mirror to your own energy. As you change internally, the way you view the world and interact with it shifts. No longer do you see life as a series of challenges to be conquered, but rather as a field of endless opportunities that are already available to you. You begin to approach situations with a sense of trust and calm, because you know that everything is unfolding for you, not against you. When you start to shift your perception of the world, you also start to shift your relationships with others. The way people respond to you is a direct reflection of how you see yourself. If you hold yourself in high regard, people will naturally treat you with more respect. When you operate from a place of self-love and self-worth, those around you will begin to mirror that energy. The simple act of loving and respecting yourself sends a message to the universe that you expect the same treatment from others. The changes in your internal world gradually shape the people and circumstances that come into your life. The ripple effect extends beyond your personal relationships. It also impacts your professional life, your finances, and your health. As you cultivate an inner sense of abundance, you will begin to notice more opportunities for growth and success. When you embody the belief that you are worthy of wealth, abundance flows more freely toward you. Money, relationships, health, and success are not separate from the energy you emit. They are merely the result of the beliefs you hold about yourself and the world around you. As you align with the truth that you deserve all the good things life has to offer, the universe responds in kind, and opportunities that once seemed elusive begin to manifest effortlessly. The transformation that occurs in your outer world is not always immediate, but the more deeply you align with your inner self, the more pronounced these changes will become. It's important to remember that these shifts happen in their own time. Just as the ripples on the surface of a pond eventually spread far and wide, the changes in your life will take root and expand outwards, touching every area of your experience. It might begin with a small shift in your mindset, a subtle change in how you view yourself, but as you continue to align with the best version of yourself, the effects begin to multiply. The more you practice staying aligned with your vision and the energy of what you want, the stronger these ripples become. At first, you may feel like you are simply going through the motions, visualizing your desires, affirming your worth, acting with confidence. But each small act of alignment creates an energetic shift that affects everything. These ripples move outwards and gather momentum until they become a wave of positive transformation. The key to understanding the ripple effect is to recognize that it is not about forcing change to happen. It's not about pushing or striving. It's about becoming so deeply connected to your true desires, so aligned with your inner truth, that the universe has no choice but to mirror that energy. You stop resisting the flow of life, and instead, you become an active participant in the unfolding of your dreams. You stop chasing after outcomes and start becoming the person who naturally attracts them. As the ripples of your inner changes spread outward, you begin to notice a greater sense of ease and flow in your life. What once felt difficult or elusive becomes more natural and effortless. Opportunities that once seemed far off begin to appear, and challenges that once felt insurmountable are no longer obstacles but stepping stones toward your goals. This is the power of deep alignment with your inner self. It is a natural progression that happens when you trust the process and allow your inner reality to shape your outer world. The ripple effect is not just a one-time occurrence. It is an ongoing, ever-expanding force that continues to grow as long as you remain aligned with your desires. Just as the energy you put out into the world influences your immediate environment, it continues to expand, touching people, situations, and opportunities that you may not even see yet. Your inner alignment sets off a chain reaction that leads to the realization of your desires, gradually and naturally. Ultimately, the ripple effect is about realizing that everything you desire is already unfolding. It is not something that happens to you. It is something that happens because of you. When you change on the inside, everything outside of you begins to change as well. Your life becomes a mirror of your inner state. And the more you align with your true self, the more you attract the life you've always dreamed of. Chapter 7. The Path Beyond Sight. There comes a point in every journey when you must step forward without knowing what lies ahead. This is not a reckless leap into the unknown, but a courageous step taken with full awareness that what you seek cannot always be seen, touched, or measured by the physical senses. It's a path that demands a deep surrender to something greater than yourself, a trust in the unseen forces that are always at work in your life. It is a journey where belief becomes the true compass, guiding you in the absence of any visible evidence. This path requires you to relinquish the need for certainty. You no longer need to see the way clearly, or know every twist and turn. The path ahead may be clouded in fog, but your faith becomes the light that leads you forward. There is a power in the unseen. Just as a seed grows in the darkness of the earth before it emerges into the light, your desires are growing and unfolding in ways that are beyond your current understanding. When you trust that your journey is already in motion, even when it feels like you cannot see the way, you begin to align with a deeper rhythm of life. It is human nature to seek evidence, to want proof that something is working before we commit ourselves to it. We want to know that the next step will lead us to where we want to go. But the real magic of life, The power of creation lies in the willingness to move forward despite not having all the answers. Faith is not about waiting for visible evidence. It's about moving forward with the understanding that the world is always aligning itself with the energy you are putting out. The universe responds to your belief, not your doubt, and the path before you begins to unfold only when you trust that it will. You cannot wait for things to change first and then believe. You must believe first, and in that belief change begins. This journey is not about seeing with your eyes, but about knowing with your heart. It's about tuning into an inner wisdom that tells you, without a doubt, that everything you need is already within you. The outer world is simply a reflection of what you hold within. Every belief, every action, every thought you choose becomes part of the fabric that shapes your reality. The things that appear to be missing in your life are already there, in the space beyond your sight. They are woven into the fabric of the universe, waiting for you to align with them through your trust and your faith. Moving beyond sight means accepting that not everything is meant to be known right away. It's like walking through a dark room, guided by a faint light. You cannot see the entire room at once, but each step you take reveals just enough to continue moving forward. And with each step, the light grows brighter. The more you trust in the process of life, the more you will see your path illuminated. At times, it may seem as if you're walking blind, but this blindness is not a curse. It's a blessing. It forces you to lean into your inner knowing and trust in what you cannot see, hear, or touch. Trust is a powerful force. It is the force that turns uncertainty into possibility. When you surrender your need to control, you open the door to infinite potential. The world responds not to the forcefulness of your actions, but to the energy behind them. It responds to the level of your belief. So often we strive, we push, we try to force outcomes, believing that only through struggle can we create results. But real power lies in letting go of the struggle, in trusting that everything is always working for your highest good, even when you cannot yet see it. The path beyond sight requires you to look beyond your current circumstances and believe that something greater is unfolding for you. It's easy to become disillusioned when things don't appear to be moving in the right direction. But your circumstances are not a reflection of your potential. They are merely a snapshot of where you are right now. The future is always fluid, always shifting, and it is shaped by the thoughts, beliefs, and energy you carry forward. When you hold the belief that all things are possible, even when you cannot see how, you tap into a force that is more powerful than any external circumstance. The moment you decide to believe in the unseen, you start to see evidence of it in the world around you. This journey is not a linear one. The path beyond sight is full of twists and turns, moments of doubt, and bursts of clarity. There will be times when the path feels unclear, when the future seems uncertain. But it's in these moments that your faith is tested. True belief is not about remaining unshaken when things are going well, but about staying grounded in your trust when everything appears to be falling apart. The ability to remain anchored in your belief, even when external evidence suggests otherwise, is the true measure of faith. When you can remain steady, knowing that the life you desire is already on its way, you unlock the greatest power you possess. Surrendering to the unknown does not mean abandoning your desires. It does not mean giving up on your dreams or waiting passively for things to happen. Rather, it means releasing your need for control and trusting that the universe is already aligning with your highest good. Surrender is not about inaction. It is about allowing things to unfold in their own time, without the resistance that comes from doubt and fear. When you surrender to the flow of life, you no longer feel the need to push against the current. You begin to move with it, trusting that it will carry you to exactly where you are meant to be. The path beyond sight is not just about achieving goals or manifesting desires. It's about the deeper journey of transformation. It's about becoming someone who operates from a place of trust, who knows that their life is unfolding exactly as it should. It's about cultivating the ability to hold a vision of your future without needing to know every detail. When you trust in the process, you stop seeking control and begin to embrace the magic of the unknown. faith transcends the visible realm. It operates on a level that goes beyond logic and reason. It is not based on evidence, but on an inner knowing that all is well. As you move further down this path, you begin to realize that your power lies not in what you can see or touch, but in what you believe. The more you surrender to this belief, the more you will see that everything you desire is already on its way to you. It is only through belief and trust that you will come to understand that what you seek has always been yours. The life you have imagined for yourself is already in motion, guided by your belief in the unseen forces that work on your behalf. To walk the path beyond sight is to step into your true power, to trust that you are always supported, and to know that your desires are already being made manifest in ways you cannot yet perceive. It is a journey where belief in the unseen becomes your most powerful tool, and where surrender becomes your greatest strength. The world responds to the energy you emit, and when you walk with faith, you invite the universe to dance with you in perfect harmony. The path ahead may be unknown, but with each step you take, the future unfolds in ways more beautiful and perfect than you could ever have imagined. Conclusion. When you stand at the edge of the path you've walked, with the journey now unfolding behind you, it's easy to wonder, did it work? Did my belief shape the life I imagined? But the truth is, the journey never truly ends. It evolves. What began as a whisper in your mind, a distant vision of a life you once thought unattainable, now becomes the quiet hum of your reality. You've shifted, transformed, and grown, not because of some grand act of doing, but because of the unwavering power of becoming. The steps you've taken are not always visible, nor are the shifts always apparent in the moment. Yet, in the silence of trust, in the surrender to the unseen forces at work, you've activated a force within that knows no bounds. The world around you is reflecting that, perhaps in ways you couldn't have anticipated or expected, but in ways that are undeniably true. This path, the one you've walked with faith and conviction, is not one of luck or happenstance. It is a path of alignment, a path where belief is not a fleeting thought, but a steady, unshakable force that guides your every step. The universe doesn't need to give you proof. It only needs you to know, to trust without doubt, to act as if the life you desire is already in motion. You've learned that the secret to living in alignment with your dreams is not about waiting for the stars to align, but in aligning yourself with the stars. When you shift from waiting for the world to change to being the change, everything around you begins to mirror that transformation. The external world becomes a reflection of your inner world. What you believe, you become. So, as you move forward, remember this. The future you've longed for is not out of reach. It never was. It is already within you, unfolding at the perfect pace, in ways that you may not yet fully understand. All that is required of you now is to continue trusting, to continue believing, and to continue walking the path that aligns with the deepest truths of who you are. In the end, you will find that what you once sought so desperately was never as far away as it seemed. The power, the peace, the success, everything you imagined was already part of your destiny, waiting for you to claim it. So step forward, knowing that you've already won. The life you envisioned is already on its way, and it's yours. Not because of what you've done, but because of who you have become.